Hello, this is RV Vagabond Jerry, and I am at the Gold Rush Cemetery on the north side of Skagway. And this is one of the most interesting cemeteries I've ever seen, and everyone in the cemetery, as far as I can tell, died around from 1898 to 1900. There's not many that are out of that range. And also, right behind the cemetery is a really nice waterfall. So I'm going to show you that too. So come on, let's take a look. They have this board with some information about it here. And they tell about some of the individual people who are buried here that were, I guess, really special people regarding to living in Skagway, which was greatly involved in the gold rush days. So I think that the work from the gold rush contributed a lot to the death of these people. So let me show them to you. And next to this one, they have what must be the world's largest gold nugget. Just sitting out here, but they do have it chained to the tree for safety. So that's a good plan. The cemetery is amongst all these trees on this hill. There are several of them right here that all say 1898. That must have been a significant time. I wonder what happened then. Most of these monuments are just made of wood. I wonder if it was a disease that was going around in 1898. John Papp in 1899. This looks like the largest monument. It says he gave his life for the honor of Skagway. This fence looks more like a big crib. This one completely faded off and somebody tried to redo it. C-A-P-T. C-D-B-B. And here's another one with the fence around it. It says Mrs. McMullen. Doesn't even have her whole name on it. And I notice a lot of these are very young people. Here's one of the few with a modern gravestone. You can probably hear Waterfall in the background. That's Lower Reid Falls up this trail. Reverend Archibald Campbell. Now these are all really old, but I've noticed in a lot of graveyards I've been to, they just don't think about the aging of the grave markers. I wonder what this means. I really can't quite figure it out. Well, that's one of the best waterfalls I've seen in a long time. The way it comes down, hitting all those rocks. And the trail to it is not very far at all. This grave marker is washed out. A Stringfellow died April 19, 1899. 1900, age 28. I notice a lot of these are really young people. This just says unknown. There's several of these that say unknown. Here's one 30 years old. Here's a 10-year-old child. This is the only really old one I've seen, 73. A lot of unknowns. And this one has no dates at all. Just the lady's name. Alexander Sandy Gray. They must have repainted over this one. It's nice black. Now you don't see many of these anywhere. A child born and died the same day. And somebody is really keeping up this fence nicely. So that must have been a really important child to somebody. Here's a baby that lived only 3 days. And look how on the second line where it says died for August in 1907, they just put the quote marks. But still they felt the need to put these bars and posts around it. And here's a very simple marker. This is a really interesting cemetery. And I bet it looks really spooky at night. And also right across from the cemetery is this river. Really nice river that goes into town or out to the ocean. Also the railroad that takes people from Skagway up into the mountains goes right by here also. Well, I think this is one of the most interesting places in Skagway. Good day, folks.